Hello everyone, it's Julie here at Big Lakes Dodge. Today I'm the lucky one who gets to show you this 2024 Jeep Wrangler 4-door Rubicon, the 392 Final Edition with 4x4. As you can see, we've got lots of decals on here, so I'm just going to point out this fender vent decal. It says 392 Final Edition on there. We got the trail rated 4x4 Jeep Wrangler badging. We also have a decal on the hood. It has a 392 and then that nice decal up there. Got the vent there. We do also have a steel, what's it called? Steel front bumper. It does have a winch on there, so that's the Warren winch. What else can I point out that we have up here? We have the grill guard triple loop. Then we have the Rubicon badging on this side as well as that decal over here. We got absolutely massive tires on this one. So they are 17 by 8 inch bronze beadlock capable wheels. We got the rock guards there. I forget what they're called. Rock slider. So that's a Mopar heavy duty rock slider with step assist. We'll look on in the interior here and you can have a look inside. So we do have a black interior. These are leather, I think they're Napa. Yeah, 392 Final Edition Napa leather seats. So as you can see there, we do have the 392 badging there as well. I just remembered that I had this in my hand, so I'm just going to quickly point out we do have remote start as well as remote keyless entry and proximity entry. So as you notice, I didn't need to unlock the door. It does unlock automatically as long as the key is near. These leather seats are powered seats, so they are, I believe, 8-way adjustable. On the passenger and the driver's side. We got our all-weather floor mats up here. We got this nice accent stitching there as well as these little accents there. In our glove box here, we do have our owner's manual. As you can see there, we do have our Sirius XM information there as well as our quick start guide and our consumer guide. So all of those are there. Well, so we have all of that right in here. I'm just gonna put down the key, quickly put these away, and of course all of that is just tucked away in your glove box, so that way you can reference that information at any point. And I'm gonna leave the key in here. So there's a quick look at that. The top, which on most Jeeps are removable, as well as the windows on the doors. This top is a power top, so all you do is there's a button up there and this opens up automatically, so you don't have to have a hassle with taking it off. It just opens up on its own with the touch of a button. So there's a quick look at the front interior. I'll go over more of the features once I get to the driver's side. Just pointing out that we do have this netting here for your door pocket. Oh, one thing I also forgot to mention is we do have the Dana M210 wide heavy duty tube front axle up on the front, and then for the back we have the Dana M220 wide full floating rear axle. So in case you're wondering about the axles, that's what we have there. There were quite a few things that I wanted to mention that now that I'm thinking about it, I can go over when we're inside though. That was just one thing I wanted to point out while we're here. Okay, so in the back seat we have our bench seat, which is a 60-40 split. They do fold down, they are leather as well. We've got our back seat pockets, our door pockets here. I'll just quickly show how they fold down. So they have this little latch here. You pull that, your headrest comes down, and then you just pull on it, and it folds right up. We have this little thing here that can fold down to make that nice and even. I'll go over the stuff in the back once I get around to that side. I'll just quickly put this back up. You can see that we do have some storage space here. So we have our cup holders that fold down, and you have a little spot to set things if you'd like. But there's a quick look at that. And then in our center console here, we've got our vents for our climate control, which I'm gonna open up. It is pretty hot in here. These are our controls for our windows. So as you noticed, we don't have them on the door, and that is because they are just located in the center here, just because the doors are removable, as well as the glass itself. So that is just, it's easier to have it here. One less thing to worry about. And then here we have our USB ports. We have our USB and USB-C ports, as well as a 115 watt or 150 watt or 115 volt port. So that's your outlet there in case you need to plug in your laptop or something like that. Then we have these little spots to throw things there, as well as this little nook that probably would get for some pens or something like that. We do have all-weather mats back here as well. They are big, so they cover the entirety of where you'll put your feet. Don't have to worry about getting them dirty. Then we of course have our sound system located throughout. I believe it's the Alpine sound system. Yeah, premium audio system. So that's what's up there, along with our interior lights. So there's just a quick look back here. I'll go into the back and we can talk a bit more back here. So we also have the steel bumper back here. And we do have some badging back here as well. The Jeep. Got our spare tire on the back. We do also have, I forgot to point out in the front, but we have a camera up front as well as our rear camera. We have the tow hooks. And I'll open this up. One cool thing about this is that we do have a fold-out table here. So you just unlatch it, take off those latches there, and then you fold this right down, and you have a little table. So if you're out camping, you don't want to bust out the full table, or you can't find a picnic table, you have something to throw things down on there, as well as some spots for your drinks. That's pretty neat. That's the first time I've seen that personally. So definitely come in handy for camping when you're off-roading. And then this comes on up. We can have a look back here. So back here there's lots to talk about. We have our case. So it's just a soft case to throw in your things when you take them off. Like you take off your glass or your doors or whatever, you can store them in here, keep them nice and safe. In this box here, underneath this nice little bag, it's a roll-up tool set. So your tools are located in there. This is the roll-up, your cover, your case, whatever you want to call it, for your tools. So that's pretty fancy. That comes with the Jeep. And then, sorry, just gonna have to tuck that away. So now that we close that up, then we also have this little box here. This little orange thing is for your jack. They call it a jack base. So that's just because this is lifted. I believe it has a 2-inch lift on it. Look at how high up we sit. So it is lifted. So your jack might not be able to reach on its own. So this will just help it, so that way you can actually jack it up if you need to change your tire. So that will come with the vehicle as well. Let me throw that back there. And then when we open this up, then in here we have a few more things. So this one here is cover to protect the modules. So when you take off your front windshield, your adaptive cruise control is the modules for that are built into the windshield. So this just helps protect that, so you don't have to worry about that getting damaged. Here we have our remote control vehicle recovery winch. So that's right here in the back, as well as I believe this is our Torx toolkit. So that has those in there for you. So all that's just stored away in here, just in case you need it, as well as some space to throw something flat. I'm not too sure what. And then in here, in this compartment here, is where you can find these things. You can store your door hinges there. Your jack is located in there. Roof and windshield. Oh, so you can store those in here. I should have learned a little more before I came in here. Oh, so that's okay. Yeah, so we're storing for like the bolts, I think. There's a quick look at that. That's your jack in there. So this little compartment comes off easily. I don't know if you saw, but I just pushed that in. Make sure it's on properly. Yeah, and then that just goes in there. To lift it up, you just lift like that. Nice and easy. Alright, also in the back here we have these little hooks for tying down your cargo. So that way if you have something that might move around quite a bit, or you don't want it to get damaged, you can go ahead and tie that down with some ratchet straps. We have a 12-volt DC port back here. What else can I mention? that's about it. We do also have our child anchor latch system on the back of our seats there, as you can see. Also located in the back here, we do have parking sensors in this. That's what those are there. Also at the end there, we have a class 2 hitch receiver here. I think this just comes off. It does open up. My left hand is my weak hand, I'm sorry. Let me try again. It's just in there. Okay, there we go. So there's your class 2 hitch receiver. It does have this cool little Jeep cover in there just to protect it. You know, it's not gonna get all muddy and stuff. We do also have our 4 and our 7-pin wiring harness there. So if you want to hook up your trailer, that is needed for anything over 2,000 pounds, recommended over 1,000. We got our exhaust back there, as you can see. So it does have the performance exhaust in this one, which I will be happy to show you when we get inside, just how you activate that. Sounds real nice and mean when you have it on. And then I'm just gonna close this up here. All right, so there's a quick look at the back. Let me just think if there's anything that I didn't quite go over. Oh, it has the 392 suspension in this one. So that's just more geared towards off-roading. Just something nice to keep in mind. Oh, I almost passed over here. Okay, so over here we have basically the same thing. We have our door pockets, back seat pockets, got the same outlets. This side is our 40 split of our 40 split bench. Pull this, comes on down. Nice and easy. And then we can also see that we'd have more cargo space with all of our seats down. So there's a quick look at that. Oh yeah, one thing I didn't, now that I'm remembering, saw the big speakers. You can see back here we do also have part of our alpine sound system back there. I believe that's our subwoofer. All right, now going into the driver's side, which I was so eager for. We got our power driver's seat up here. I'm gonna hop on up and then we can talk a little more. So there's lots and lots of fancy things in this beautiful Jeep here. We got the heated powered mirrors. So to adjust that, that's just located on your door right here. For the heated function, you would just turn on your rear window defroster right there. And then that also turns on your heated mirrors function. That just helps if it rains out and they're fogging up, that'll help prevent that. As you can see by the little triangle there, we have our blind spot monitoring. So if anything is in your blind spot, it will alert you. It'll light up orange, as well as you can have it ding at you. And I think it'll also show an alert on the dash as well. All right, I'm gonna zoom out so we can have a look at our beautiful steering wheel here. So as you can see, we do have the paddle shifters. So you can put it in into manual mode, and then you can, this would be for your gearing down, gearing up. We also have our cruise control here, so this is our regular cruise control. Then we have our adaptive cruise control. So what that does is that keeps you from the distance that you select. It'll keep you a certain distance away from the vehicle in front of you, just so that way you're not going into a collision. I believe it does also have brake assist with that, so it will brake to help prevent that collision. If you're getting too close to something, it'll help keep you that distance away. Here we have our controls for our driver information screen, which is just that little screen in the middle on our cluster. And then we have our voice recognition system, as well as our answer and end calls. On the back here, we do also have these rocker switches. So this one controls your tuning of your audio. And then on this side, this would be your volume control for your audio. So that's really nice, because you're not going to have to fiddle around or even move your hands really. Like if you usually keep them at 10 and 2, you just go down and then you can adjust it right there. Nice and easy. For our driver information screen, I'll just quickly show you that. I'm just going to scroll through here. So we can see our speedometer. You can also switch it to miles per hour if you'd like. I just clicked right for that, and then you would click OK. And then I'll scroll down. We can see our vehicle information here. So we can see our tire pressure. And how that works is it actually has little, on your caps for your tires, it has little sensors in there. Not in the caps themselves, but like in that part where you would fill up the tires, it has a gauge in there to assess the tire pressure. Here we have our coolant temp, trans temp, oil pressure, oil life, your battery voltage, and then back to our tire pressure. I'm going to continue scrolling down. You can see our drivetrain here. So this is helpful for your off-roading. So with your off-roading, there's so much for Jeeps that they have for off-roading. But you can see your drivetrain here. So when you have your 4x4 engaged, or your I believe your trailer sway, or trailer, no, not trailer, this sway bar disconnect. Yeah, so it has an electronic front disconnecting sway bar, which for that you would see right here. Let me just zoom in there. So you can see the sway bar, you can disconnect that. You have your off-road plus and your front and rear, I believe that's for your sway bar. So you can go ahead and disconnect them there, or oh no, that's your locker, your e-locker front and rear axles. So this one is if you want to lock your axles. The sway bar is for disconnecting your sway bar. What that does is it just helps with your suspension. The locking your axles, that just helps with traction. If you need that extra traction, it'll spin all of your tires at the same speed. So you can see that up here, as well as our pitch and roll for your off-roading. I'm going to scroll down some more. We have adaptive cruise control, which I kind of mentioned. When you do have that turned on, it comes on up here, and you can see the information for that up there, as well as setting the distance from the vehicle ahead of you. Your fuel economy, so this just shows the average fuel economy of it, the range, all that good stuff here. And then you can see that it has two, trip A and trip B, I believe, that you can gauge that for. Then here we have trip A and trip B information. Continuing scrolling, we have our audio, which can come up there. So right now it's on the FM radio. It also comes with Sirius XM radio. You can also connect your Bluetooth, and then the songs will show up there. Messages, so this is if, say, the check engine light comes on, or it's telling you your tire pressure is low, it'll store that message here just for you to have a look at later on. And then your screen setup, so you can set up your screen. There's different spots where your alerts come up, and then it just kind of gives you the option to customize that. So it's fully customizable. If you don't want the temperature up in that right corner, then you can switch that out. So that's kind of what that does. Alright, then we're back to our speedometer. So that's about it for up there. Our vents are located right here. I'm gonna open that up too, because again, it's a really hot day today. So the AC works really good. I can vouch for that. We have our headlamp controls up here. So this just controls our, I forget what kind. I think they're LEDs. Automatic high beam headlamp control. So that's just right here. This adjusts that. And this is for the brightness. Alright, now looking over here, we have our infotainment center. So you can see that we do have our navigation and our media set up on our widgets here. Those are customizable. All you do is click that little pencil, and you can set which widget you would like to have on your home screen. In our media tab, we have our AM, FM radio, Sirius XM, Bluetooth, and you can also connect through USB or USB-C port. And then we have our presets down at the bottom, which are really easy to set to whichever presets you have as favorites. So what you do is you just go onto the radio station that you like, and then you go ahead and hold which preset that you want it set as, and it'll save automatically. In our comfort tab, we have our heated seats on both the driver and passenger side, as well as our heated steering wheel. We have our front and rear window defrosters, our AC. We also have our air circulation. This one's our fan strength, and these are the different modes. On the side here is where you would find the temperature. So right now it's set to low. If I were to have it up, because it is a dual zone, but right now they're synced. You can have this one higher, this one lower. It just kind of shows that there, but I'm gonna leave it synced up on low just to keep it nice and cool in here. Also, these little things up here are shortcuts. So say we're in our home tab, you want to access your comfort easily, that's right there. You can also see the different notifications, temperature, all that good stuff. So those are all shortcuts up there. Then we have our navigation. So this one has the integrated navigation. That's really nice because when you have a destination set up here, it will also show up in your driver information screen, I believe. You can also, like, if you have your phone connected, if you prefer Google Maps, you can use that as well, and it'll show up in your CarPlay or Apple Android Auto tab there. So where the phone is, it'll show your Apple CarPlay or your Android Auto right there. And then you can also access your Google Maps from there if you'd like, to set your destination. So there's no getting lost in here. There's lots of options for our navigation. In our phone, that's where you would pair it or choose which phone is paired, as well as see your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto if you have it connected. In our vehicle tab, we have different things. So right now I have it on settings because I was looking at our safety and driving assistance settings. Almost everything is customizable, and that's one of the really nice things about these newer vehicles that Chrysler, Ram, and Jeep all put out, is that a lot of it is customizable. So you can customize all of this to what you like. You can have the guidelines on the cameras, you can take them off. You can have auto comfort on, so when you remote start it, the comfort comes on automatically. So it'll just be like you want your vehicle to heat up while you, like after you've remote started it, that's when you would have that on. So that way it will turn on the comfort automatically, it'll turn on the heat automatically. On hot days, it'll turn on the AC, so that way it's nice and cool by the time you get in the vehicle. And then going back to our safety and driving assistance, we also have our automatic emergency braking. So it will brake automatically with your forward collision warning. If it senses that you're getting too close to something, it'll help with your braking just to avoid an accident. Then we have our park sense, so that's our parking sensors in the front and the rear. Oh, we only have it on the rear here. So that's nice because when you're doing off-roading, sometimes the sensors in the front can be a little touchy. But for the rear, that's just when you're backing up, you're reversing, you don't want to get too close to someone, it'll alert you about that. We have our blind spot alert, which I kind of went over. Our paddle shifters, which are enabled currently. You can disable them if you don't want them, just in case you might bump them. But those are just right here and here. And then your hill start assist. Also, if you have any questions about what any of these do, you click this little I for information, and then it shows you. So provide start assistance when the vehicle is on an incline. So you say you're stopped at a what's it called, like a stoplight, and you're at an incline. Instead of like when you let go of the brake, you roll back until you start going. It'll kind of what it does is, I think it holds back, like it'll brake you a little bit, so that way you have the ability to go upwards. That's what that helps with. Then tire fill assist, which again we can click the little thing, provides alert for tire fill assist. So those are right there. That's a lot of our safety and driving assistance that we have in here. When we go over to this controls tab, you can see we have our forward facing camera, which I didn't show when we were up there, but it does have, and then you have the little guidelines to show where your tires will go. So say you're trying to load it up onto a ramp or something like that, you can see where your tires are gonna go. Then it does have the function to clean the camera and the rear glass, so that is really nice. You don't have to get out and clean the mud off of it every time. It will spray it just to clean it off a little bit. Then we have our rear camera, which of course helps with lining up your hitch, so that's what the guidelines help for. It also helps you check to make sure that there's nothing behind you when you're backing up. We have the automatic dimming mirror, which will dim automatically if you're being braided from behind. The only time that that doesn't work is when you are in reverse. In our apps, we can see all of the apps for the vehicle, so you can see all those there. We have tutorials, Wi-Fi hotspot, SOS, which I should mention the SOS button is up here, as well as our assist button. So the SOS button is, it will call the emergency services, so police or ambulance, stuff like that, and then they will go to your location. I believe they try and call you first, and if you don't answer, then they just send them automatically. For assist, that would be your roadside assistance. Say your tire is flat, you don't know how to change it yourself, or you can't physically change it yourself, they can send someone to help you. They can send a tow truck. I believe they can also send some gasoline in case you run out of gas. just to get you to the nearest gas station. So that's what those buttons up there do. These ones control our power top, which I can show you right now. You just click that and the entire top opens up all on its own. You don't have to get out, you don't have to wrestle with it, you don't have to bust out your toolkit, it just opens up. A lot of people like that about the Jeeps. That's one really nice thing about the Jeeps, is that they are so customizable. But this is one less thing that you have to worry about switching out yourself. All you do is click the button and it opens and closes on its own. And then we have our universal home remote, so that one controls your garage door. You can have that connected. It connects fairly easily. It's a simple process. And if you need assistance, of course, we'd be happy to help you out with that. All right, now below our our infotainment center, here we have our volume control. This one's our fan settings. This one's our tuning, our heated steering wheel, heated seats, passenger heated seats. This is our air circulation, AC, your different modes, and then front and rear window defrosters. This is our traction control. So if you ever want to turn your traction control off, you would go ahead and select that. It does come up here as well. So that's right there. This is our parking sensors. So say you're backing up, it's going too crazy, like there's some long grass or something like that, you want to turn it off, you would click that, and again that comes up on your driver information screen. So that's really nice. This one here is our select speed. So what you do is you shift to 4 low. It kind of is like a really slow motion cruise control, so that just helps keep you at a slower speed. But you would be in your 4 low, so that's if you're crawling over like rocks or stuff like that, and you want to go make sure that you're going the right speed for your 4 low, because you are supposed to go slow for that. That kind of helps with staying at the right speed. And you go automatically too, like as soon as you have it on, you're driving, you don't need to press the gas or anything like that. What else can I mention? Oh, the exhaust. Okay, so now I finally get to show you the performance exhaust. So that's what this is here. You can see it has a little exhaust symbol. So when we click that, I'll be quiet now so you can listen. I hope you can hear that because it sounds real nice and mean. So that's your performance exhaust. And again, I forgot to mention, it does show up on your driver information screen. You can see that up there when that's on. Then we have our 12-volt DC port. I believe it opens up this way. These ones control our windows, so let me just show that. That controls our windows there. This one is for locking it, so you can lock the windows so that way no one can open them up. That's helpful for when you're on the highway and you don't want anyone to hurt your ears. Then we have our media outlets here, so we have our auxiliary port, USB-C port, as well as our USB port. Down here we have our auxiliary switches. Then we have our off-road plus, our sway bar, so that's disconnecting your sway bar. Sway bar disconnect in progress. So again, that just helps with your suspension. What else? Oh, this one is your locking rear axle, front and rear axles. So you can lock your front and rear. Oh, so you would have to switch to 4 low for that to come on. But you can also lock your rear only. Again, you would switch to 4 low. It will just, if you don't switch, it'll just turn off. And then we have our 4-wheel. So this one just controls you can switch from 4 high auto, 4 high part-time, neutral, and 4 low. Then here we have our regular gear shifter. It does have the 392 badging on there. Final edition, extra fancy. Our park brake, some cup holders, and again we have our key there. This one's for the alarm. One thing that I always forget to mention, but since it is a push start, if ever the key dies and you still would like to start your vehicle, all you do is hold this to that. I don't know if it's this way or this way, but you just hold the key to the start and it should start up. It's kind of like an override for that. What else can I mention? Let me just look at my little paper here. So I went over the axles, the sway bar disconnect, the locking axles, forward collision warning, adaptive cruise control, park sense, blind spot monitoring, and rear cross path detection. So I didn't quite mention the rear cross path detection. That's just so let me just look here. So when we are backing up, this kind of just is to help paint the picture. When we're backing out of a parking spot, say we have vehicles that are longer than us on each side and you can't see, like your visibility is very limited. So the rear cross path detection is when you're backing up, it'll look both ways, has sensors that kind of sense both ways out of the vehicle. That would be in the rear. And then if someone's coming, it kind of alerts you, and I believe it also has the brake assist for that as well. So that would just help prevent a collision if you're backing out of a parking lot or something like that. Went over the class 2 hitch, the auxiliary switches, off-road plus mode, remote start, sports steering wheel with paddles. Yes, I mentioned that. I think I've gone over basically everything. I think we're good. All right, again, if you ever have any questions or if you want to see more of a certain feature or know if it has something in particular, you can always give us a call here at Big Lakes Dodge. We'd be happy to help you out with that. I'll give you one final look at this beautiful, beautiful Jeep. There's the interior and the exterior. Absolutely gorgeous. Sounds real nice and mean. You know what? One little treat for you is I'm going to turn on that performance exhaust and we're going to listen to it out here.